Hey GBCYMers, it's your youth pastor Jeremy with another middle school devotional thought for you guys. We hope you guys have been enjoying this series that we're on. We're on the series called Atypical, that we're talking about families. And right now you've probably dealt a lot with your family, but we're talking about what it means to be an atypical family. Because see, not every family knows that God can use family members to impact their life, or that you can impact family members' lives. Not every family prays for each other. Not every family has hard conversations. But when you're an atypical family, when you do these things, it can make a major impact, not only in your life, but in your family's life. And so today we're going to talk about another atypical family mentioned in the Bible, and it's one of the first families that we see in the Bible, and it's probably a story you may have heard of before, of this guy named Joseph. Now Joseph had many brothers. He had 10 older brothers. Later in life, he'll have another younger brother. But to kind of put it bluntly, his older brothers were really jealous of him. Because see, Joseph, even though he was number 11, was the favorite son. And that really didn't sit well with his other 10 brothers. And so one day when Joseph was out working in the fields, we're in Genesis 37, his brothers get together and they're like, let's go beat Joseph up. Now this isn't like brothers ragging on each other, being like, haha, boogie, or anything like that. They really beat him up. It got to the point that the oldest brother finally stepped in and was like, guys, if we keep going, we're gonna kill him. So instead, let's make some money off this and sell him into slavery. Now me and my sisters always didn't really get along great, but it never got to the point that one, either of us beat each other up that we thought we were going to kill the other person, or two, we ever considered selling the other person into slavery. But that's what Joseph had to deal with here. And so if you know about Joseph's life, the rest of his life is kind of like a roller coaster, that he kind of goes through these really high of highs and then really low of lows, that you would think being beaten up to death and then sold into slavery was as low as it could get. It kind of gets worse. So if you want to keep reading that story, it's the rest of Genesis is the story of Joseph. And so finally we get to Genesis 50. That Joseph is number 2 in all of Egypt. Yeah, that same Egypt with pharaohs and pyramids, the one that you learn about in history class that was this mega power at the time. Number 2 in all of Egypt. And his brothers come to Egypt because they're about to die if Egypt doesn't help them out. And they don't even recognize Joseph. Joseph instantly knows who they are, though. And he had the power to have them killed. He had the power to kick them out of Egypt. He had the power to do whatever he wanted to do to these 10 brothers. But do you know what he chose to do? He chose to forgive them. See, atypical families forgive each other. Now that's very easy for us to say. It's very easy to say we should forgive one another, but some of you watching this, you have some hurt. A family member has really hurt you, more than I could even imagine. But atypical families forgive each other. So there's 4 kind of steps to realizing you need to forgive someone. The first is realize who you need to forgive. Who has hurt you? Who is someone that is meant to love, support, embrace you, but has caused damage? The second is to tell God you need help with this. Because see, this isn't something we can do on our own. Some of the pain that some of you have gone through by loved ones is serious pain. You need God's help with it. Third thing is to ask God to help with that healing. It's not going to be instantaneous. It's not going to happen overnight. Some of you, it might take a long time. And lastly, choose not to hold on to that hurt, but to look forward at the possibility of reconciliation. So there's a challenge I want you guys to do. What I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, just a small piece of paper, something that you can put somewhere. And I want you to think of a family member that has hurt you. For some of you, this might be hard. For some of you, this might be hard to narrow it down. But I want you to think of one family member that you really feel like you need to forgive. Second, write out what you need to forgive them for. Put words to what was done to you, the pain that you felt. And lastly, I want you to hold on to that card. Put it in a desk drawer, put it under your pillow or something. Put it somewhere that you can remind you of the card, but not so that you reflect on the pain that you were felt, but on that you are choosing to forgive that person. Because see, when we're atypical families that have hard conversations, that we pray for one another, that we know that we can make an impact on each other's lives, and that we forgive each other, we can make the best impact, not only on our own life, but on the impact of our families' lives. We really appreciate you guys watching these videos. If this lesson kind of stirs something inside you and you need to talk to someone about what pain you felt, or maybe about processing through how to forgive them, please reach out to us. We'd love to walk through that with you and pray with you. If there's anything your family needs, do not hesitate to call. Do not hesitate to message. Do not hesitate to email. We are here for you guys still. We are so excited to see you guys soon. We hope that comes sooner rather than later. But until then, know we are praying for you guys and we're still here for you guys. Have a great day, guys.